You've probably been training for months, maybe even years. You're consistent, you eat well, you show up, but no matter how hard you train, your muscle growth just feels stuck. You're not weak, you're not lazy, you're just missing one simple trick. And once you make it, everything changes because this one simple thing can literally make your muscle growth. Let me explain. Before we start, if you're serious about building muscle the right way without guesswork, frustration, or wasted effort, click in the link in the description and book a free call with me today. Inside my coaching program, I'll help you train smarter, build muscle faster, and finally start seeing results that last. Now, let's get into it. The simple fix that will completely change your muscle growth is learning how to create real tension in your muscles. Not fake tension, not momentum, not ego lifting. Real controlled, targeted tension. The kind of tension that makes your muscles actually grow, not just move weights. Because here's the truth, most people don't realize your muscles don't know how much weight you're lifting. They only know how much tension they're under. That means somebody lifting 60 kg with perfect control can build more muscle than someone swinging 100 kg with bad form. And yet 90% of people in the gym do the second one. They chase the weight, not the stimulus. Heavier equals bigger, but it doesn't. Your muscles don't respond to ego, they respond to stimulus. And stimulus comes from control. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're doing a bicep curl. If you're just swinging the bar with momentum, your biceps aren't doing the work. Gravity is. But if you slow down the rep, keep your elbow locked, and control the lift and the lowering, you'll feel the muscle fibers light up instantly. That's tension, and that's how muscle is built. Most people don't have a training problem, they have a tension problem. They're moving weights, not building muscles, and that's why their growth stalls. If you can fix that one thing, you'll start growing faster than you ever have. Let's break it down. There are 3 phases to every rep: concentric, isometric, and eccentric. The concentric phase is when you hold and pause. The eccentric phase is when you lower it. Most people rush all 3. They throw the weight up, drop it down, and wonder why nothing's changed. But here's the thing: most of your muscles grow happens during the eccentric phase. That's when the fibers are lengthening under load, and that's when the muscle is actually breaking down so it can rebuild stronger. So if you're letting gravity do the lowering for you, you're literally throwing away half of your gains. Slowing down part of the rep changes everything. Try this next time you train. Pick a moderate weight, take 3 seconds to low, feel the tension all the way through. It feels lighter in your hands, but it'll feel heavier on the muscles, and that's how you build real muscle. It's not about how fast you move the weight, it's about how much you make the muscle work. If you can master it, you'll grow faster with less weight and fewer injuries. That's the power of proper tension. Now here's the second part of the fix: mind-muscle connection. This is one of the most underrated skills in the gym. If you don't have it, you're leaving 50% of the progress on the table. Mind-muscle connection means you're consciously controlling the muscle you're trying to work. You're not just performing the movement, you're feeling it. You're engaging it from start to finish. The problem is that most people let their joints or other muscles take over. They bench with their shoulders, they curl with their back, and squat with their hips. That's why their target muscles never grow. In other words, they're working the wrong ones. You have to learn how to make the muscle you want actually do the work. It sounds simple, but it will change everything. So the next time you train, slow down the reps, focus on feeling every inch of the muscle. If you can't feel the target muscle working, reduce the weight, because if you can't feel it, you can't grow it. It's not about looking stronger, it's about training smarter. And this is where so many lifters go wrong. They're chasing numbers and not results. They let their ego dictate their training instead of their progress. If you can strip your ego away, lower the weight, and train with intention, your results will skyrocket. I learned this the hard way. When I started training, I used to think the heavier the better. If I wasn't adding weight every week, it felt like I was failing. But all this did was lead to poor form, injuries, and slow progress. Once I focused on controlling the weight, feeling the movement, and creating maximum tension, I started growing again. And the best part, I was lifting less weight. And that's when I realized intensity isn't about how much you lift, it's about how much you make your muscles work. You can have the hardest session of your life with half the weight you're used to. You just have to train properly. If you want to build muscle faster, this is the key. Now let's talk about the third part of the fix: tempo. Tempo is how fast or slow perform your reps, and it's one of the easiest way to make your train more effective instantly. Most people lift too fast. They bounce out reps, rush through sets, and never actually control the weight. What they're doing, they're training their joints more than their muscles. But when you slow down the tempo, you increase time under tension, which is the number one driver of muscle growth. It forces your muscles to work work harder for longer, that's where your growth happens. So let's just say you're doing a squat. Instead of dropping down and bouncing back up, try controlling the descent for 3 seconds. Pause for 1 second at the bottom and then drive back up with power. You'll feel the difference immediately. That's how you grow. You don't need new exercises or fancy equipment. You just need to control, because the body doesn't care about what exercise looks like. It cares about how it feels. And if you can make your muscles feel that constant tension, you'll have no choice but to adapt. And that's how growth happens. Now let's talk about the recovery, because this is where most people sabotage their gains. Even if you train properly, even if you train perfectly, if you're not recovering properly, you'll never grow. Growth doesn't happen in the gym. It actually happens after. This is when you're resting, it's when you're eating, it's when you're sleeping. If you're not giving your body that recovery time, you're breaking down the muscle faster than you can build it. And that's why you stay stuck. If you want to explode your muscle growth, you have to train hard and focus harder. Sleep at least 7 hours, eat enough protein, drink enough water, and stop training through exhaustion. You grow when you rest, so don't skip it. Another part of this simple fix is stability. Most people don't realize how important this is to stabilize their body during a lift. If you're wobbly, shifting, or unbalanced, your body won't recruit muscle fibers efficiently. You're wasting energy trying to stabilize instead of contracting your muscles. The more stable you are, the more output you can generate. The more output you generate, the more muscle you can build. So the next time you lift, plant your feet, brace your core, lock your position before you move the weight. You'll feel instantly stronger and more connected with your movement. That's stability, that's power. Now here's another thing that destroys progress: lack of control on the negative. Most people focus on only the lift, not the lower. But the lowering phase, i.e. the eccentric, is where the most growth happens. Every time you control the part of the rep, you create more micro tears, and that's what triggers muscle growth. Letting the weight drop is wasted potential. So the next time you lift, think of this: lift with power, lower with control. That balance will multiply your gains. Now here's the most important mindset shift: stop chasing fatigue, start chasing stimulus. And because you're sweating, panting, or sore, doesn't mean you're growing. Muscle growth isn't about exhaustion, it's about stimulation. If you train smarter, you can grow without destroying yourself every session. You don't need to crawl out of the gym just to make progress. You need to train your muscles properly. And what that means is less stress and more stimulus. That's the secret. And when it comes down to tension control and execution, when you fix those, your growth explodes. Now let's talk about how to apply this to your workouts. First, pick about 3 to 4 compound lifts that target your main muscles groups. So it'll be like your squats, your bench press, your deadlifts, pull-ups, rows, overhead press. These are your foundation. Then focus on perfect form and tension every rep. Track down your workouts. Don't just go in blind. Note your weights, your reps, and your tempo. Try to improve something each session, even if it's just 1 rep or that 1 more second of control. That's how you progress. It's not magic. It's just consistency. If you apply this one fix, tension and control, your body will have no choice but to grow, because now every rep is doing real work. No more wasted motion, no more random lifting, just focused, intentional, effective training. This one can literally change how you train forever. I've seen it happen with my clients. One guy was stuck benching the same weight for 6 months. I told him to stop chasing the weight and start chasing the tension. What we did, we reduced the weight by 20%. We slowed down his reps and paused and added a pause at the bottom. Within 4 weeks, he started to look stronger and more balanced. And even though he was lifting lighter, that's what happens when you train smart. It's not about doing more, it's about doing it better. So if you're not seeing the muscle growth you want, it's not because you're missing effort, you're missing precision. And that's the good news, because precision can be learned. You just need to know how. And that's exactly what I do inside my coaching program. What we do, we fix your form, your tempo, and your training structure so you start growing again. Now, if you're tired of guessing and want a plan that actually works, click the link in the description and book your call with me today. This one change, creating real tension, is what separates average lifters from advanced ones. It's the real difference between working out and building muscle. If you can master this, you'll never plateau again. Your muscles will keep growing and your strength will keep improving and your confidence will go through the roof. Because when your training is dialed in, everything else follows. The gym stops being frustrating. It becomes more fun again. You actually look forward to training because you know it's working, and that's when everything changes. So remember, the fix isn't more supplements or more sets or more gym time. It's better execution, it's better tension, better control, training with intention. Focus on quality, not quantity. and your muscle growth will explode. That's the truth most people don't realize. And once you do, it's game over. You finally start seeing the results you've been chasing for years. So try this in your next session. Slow it down, feel the muscle, own the movement, and watch your body change. If you want help creating a custom plan to maximize your growth and fix your technique, click the link in the description and book a free call with me today. We'll go through your training, fix your form, and build a plan that makes every rep count, because you don't need more effort, you need precision. And once you fix that, your muscles will explode.